Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is me Alia Wahid. In this video we are going to start the next chapter of pharmacology, and in this chapter we are going to start about the adrenal hormones. We are discussing the corticosteroids hormones and the disease related to them. So in this lecture we will mainly focus on the glucocorticoids. So in the next lecture a very short topic of mineralocorticoids will be discussed. So now first of all I am giving this just a brief overview of the previous information which you already know. So on our kidney a gland is present which is called as the adrenal gland. I am zooming this gland here. So this is the your adrenal gland. It consists of two layers: adrenal cortex outer layer and adrenal medulla, which is the inner layer. Now mainly all of the steroidal hormones are produced by your adrenal cortex, mean the outer layer of your adrenal gland. So here are the hormones of adrenal cortex. Two mainly hormones it produce: corticosteroids and androgens. Okay, now corticosteroids are again divided into the two types: glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Why their name is given as gluco and mineralo? So gluco word is given to them because their function is to regulate the glucose metabolism. So they are controlling the glucose, how it is going to metabolize in your liver, how it is going to produce, how they are undergoing the breakdown. So this is controlled by this hormone. Now, second hormone is the mineralocorticoid. Mineralo, as its name indicates, so it is going to regulate electrolytes which are present in your body. So, therefore, they are named as. Now, you have listened that there are some corticosterones, aldosterones, cortisone, corticosteroids. So, always you are going to confuse between these terms. But now, in this lecture, you will clear all of these concepts in your mind. So first of all, make a concept of it that what is aldosterone. Actually, mineralocorticoid type is the aldosterone. Aldosterone is the type of mineralocorticoid. Actually, it includes in it. Mineralocorticoid is a class of hormones. So this class contain a lot of hormones in them, and the most important hormone is aldosterone, which is given in your syllabus. And what is the function of it? It is going to regulate sodium and potassium concentration in your body. So you know that concentration of sodium and potassium is very important, because a lot of proton pumps are present in your body which are regulated with the two ions, sodium and potassium. So if their concentration is not balanced, then it will severely affect these proton pumps. And if your proton pumps will not work properly, then various kind of organs will affect it out, and your body cannot work normally. So, as the mineralocorticoid type is, glucocorticoid also has a type. Its type is called as cortisol. Cortisol is the type of glucocorticoids. Just similar, the glucocorticoid is also a class of hormones in which one type is the cortisol. Now cortisol has some kind of synthetic drugs in them. So a lot of drugs are made by the scientists which are just similar, and they are working just similar to the cortisone. Like I have given two drugs here, cortisone and corticosteroids. They are not the hormones. This is the most important concept that should be keep in your mind forever, that these are not hormones. These are the synthetic drug which we give to the patient body in case who have no corticosteroid. So very a lot of patients are present whose corticosteroid cannot be produced normally. So we will give them synthetic drugs to them which are just mimicking the action of that particular hormone. So corticosteroids and cortisone are the two synthetic drugs which are mimicking the action of cortisol. So we have discussed about the corticosteroid because this is only included in our syllabus. Androgen is not included in the syllabus, so we are not discussing it here. So let's discuss how these hormones, these glucocorticoids, these mineralocorticoids or androgens, how they are going to release in your body, how adrenal gland release them. So let's discuss this mechanism of action. So here the releasing mechanism of these hormones are given. First of all, hypothalamus involved. Hypothalamus release CRH. What is CRH? It is the corticotropin releasing hormone. So this is released. Now it will activate anterior pituitary gland. Then your anterior pituitary gland will release adrenocorticotropic hormones. So now this adrenocorticotropic hormones stimulate your adrenal gland. Now your adrenal gland, this dark part is the adrenal medulla, while the upper three layers, these are the layers of your adrenal cortex. So your this adrenal cortex consists of three further layers, which I have drawn here. The first layer is called as zona glomerulosa, second layer is the zona fasciculata, and the third layer is zona reticularis. So each of these layers are going to produce specific hormones. Like if you see, zona glomerulosa is releasing mineralocorticoid, and mineralocorticoid type is aldosterone. Zona flaccellata is going to release glucocorticoid, and the type of glucocorticoid is cortisol. So actually cortisol is making a negative feedback. It is going to inhibit its release, and it also going to inhibit this release. So actually this is a hormone which is inhibiting its own self. And the third hormone is released by the last layer, which is a zona reticularis. This is the androgen. Actually it is controlling the male characters in our body. So let's discuss about the glucocorticoids, which is our first lecture. So here I have given glucocorticoids. So these are the class of steroidal hormones. Function is their function is given here. They are playing important role as a anti-inflammatory agents because they are suppressing TNF. What is TNF? They are some kind of biological agents which can promote the inflammation. So the next type of inflammatory causing agent is the interleukins. So interleukin 4, interleukin 5, and interleukin 13. These three types of interleukin, they are playing important role in causing the inflammation. So we have seen how interleukin are causing the inflammation in the chapter where we are discussing how asthma happens to anybody. So we have discussed that interleukin 4 and is causing the production of plasma cells. Plasma cells are producing IgE antibody. IgE antibody attached with the mast cells. A mast cell will burst it out, and it will release three important inflammation-causing agents: histamine, leukotrienes, and third agent is the prostaglandins. And interleukin 5 is causing the inflammation in eosinophils. So eosinophils will burst out and they will release same histamine, prostaglandin, and some proteolytic enzyme which can cause the inflammation by damaging the proteins which are present in the membrane. And interleukin 13 is actually enhancing the action of interleukin 5. So here these interleukins are causing inflammation, so glucocorticoids are going to suppress them. They doesn't allow these immune cells to gather at the site of inflammation. So therefore as a result they are acting as an anti-inflammatory agent. They are also immunosuppressant. They suppress your immune system. So whenever we need immunosuppressant, like after the surgery, the patient has someone who has taken or is donated with the kidney or liver transplant. So a body needs time to accept the kidney of another's body. So therefore the body needs the immunosuppressant to suppress the immune system. If we don't give immunosuppressants to that patient, then what will happen? The body begins to produce antibodies against that liver which is transplanted, and then they will digest the whole liver in that patient. So therefore immunosuppressants are very important for the patients after the surgery, after a cancer. It is they are also very important for the asthmatic patient, and for all those patients who have inflammation in them. And it also has very important function as a carbohydrate metabolism, because it is metabolizing the carbohydrate, and also helping is the glucogenesis means the production of glucose. So same time it is metabolizing the glucose, at the same time they are producing the glucose. so they are doing opposite functions at the same time. So therefore their level which is naturally produced in the body is very important. Like if you are fasting, then their level is very high. So they are producing a lot of body functions, like production of glucose is very helpful for you. At the same time, the breakdown of glucose, which can cause the fat production, that's very important too. So therefore both of these functions carried out at the same time. And lipolysis is also carried out to burn the fat. So same thing when you are fasting, so your fat which is deposited in the body is going to be break down with the help of these glucocorticoids. So when is the time, or what is the duration of release of glucocorticoids? So actually they are released during the morning time and then in the evening time. So they have very high dose or very high levels in the morning. So in the evening they have half of the morning levels. So therefore they should be very important to maintain your sleep cycle. So let's discuss what is the mechanism of their action. So five steps are occur in their mechanism of action. First, they are going to bind with the glucocorticoid receptor. So every cell which is present in your body contain glucocorticoid receptors. So let's suppose this is any a cell, okay, and this is your glucocorticoid hormone. It will enter in your cell. So as it is steroid, so it will get no difficulty to pass through a membrane, because it is steroidal nature, it is lipid in nature. So it will easily cross the lipid bilayer. After that, the glucocorticoid receptor is present in the cell. It will bind itself to it, and the drug receptor complex will form. So this is the ligand receptor complex. So it is in the dimer form, in the two forms. Then after that, after the complex forming or its activation, it will enter into the nucleus of that cell. And in the nucleus the gene is present. So it is causing the change in the gene expression, causing the production of its own messenger RNA, causing the gene transcription, regulating the gene expression, changing the gene sequence, and after that, change in the synthesis of protein and inhibit the synthesis of protein, because protein is causing inflammation, protein is causing increase in the immune response. So if protein is going to inhibit, then all of these responses will kill out. So this was all about the mechanism. Now let's discuss their pathology. So in the pathology, two cases are given: condition and hyper condition. So first I have give hypocortisolism. Hypercortisolism mean in which the levels of glucocorticoids are very low. So the disease which happens in that case is the Addison's disease. So in Addison disease, dysfunction of adrenal cortex is occur. Now your adrenal cortex is not working properly. It is a block. It is has tumor in it, so it is not working. It is not releasing any hormone. So in that case, we will give the drug hydrocortisone. Hydrocortisone. So hydrocortisone is just acting similar to the glucocorticoid or cortisol. So it is just mimicking the action of cortisol, and that is a very important point of its pharmacokinetics, that you should give that drug to the patient in the morning or in the evening. In morning you will give two and two third half of that dose, and in the evening you will give one third of that dose. So you have to divide your dose in the three halves. First two halves is given in the morning, and last half is given in the evening. So that is very important, because in the morning and in the evening the levels of hydrocortisol is naturally high, so you have to give synthetic drug at that time. And duration is very important. It has very short duration of about 1 to 12 hours only. So remember one thing, that 1 to 12 are very long, but in case of steroidal drugs they have very very long actions. Like if we are studying in that lecture that there is a drug whose action is about 36 to 55 hours. It's mean more than 2 days. A drug of steroidal drug can produce its effects. So it's mean from all over the drugs, steroidal drugs has longest duration. and 1 to 12 hour is one of the shortest duration of them, and hydrocortisone has shortest duration of it. So let's discuss the case of hypercortisolism. So here the hypercortisolism means the increase in the level of glucocorticoids. So now you have very high concentration of ACTH. And what is ACTH? It is the adrenocorticotropic hormones, which is released by the anterior pituitary gland, and which is sending signals to your adrenal cortex to release more and more glucocorticoids. And also the increase in glucocorticoids occur due to the adrenal tumor, that some kind of tumors can produce in the adrenal gland, which can cause the high or overproduction of glucocorticoids. And third disease is the congenital adrenal hyperplasia. It means there is any enzyme defect in it. So sometimes due to enzymes defect, the overproduction can happen. So what is the treatment of them? We will and Cushing disease happens to that patient. So in Cushing syndrome, the levels of glucocorticoids are very high. So what we will give that patient? We will give dextromethasone. Dextromethasone is decreasing the level of cortisone, suppressing it, and blocking the adrenal gland or cortex to release it. Duration is about a longest acting drug, acting about 36 to 55 hours. So it is the most longest acting corticosteroid. So if the patient has taken that drug at that time, then he will have to take that drug after that 2 days. So this drug is acting and controlling and decreasing the level of cortisone in that patient after the 2 days. So it has longest duration in it. And also there are some drugs of glucocorticoids which are decreasing or reducing the inflammation, like after the surgery, cancer, asthma, IBD mean irritable bowel syndrome disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and osteoarthritis. All of these diseases have inflammation. So we have to give anti-inflammatory, so we can give glucocorticoids like peridinosole, peridosolone, and methylperidinosole. So peridisol is very useful because it is present in the inactivated form. So peridinosole is inactive form, and peridinisolone is the activated form. So actually in our body we will give this an inactivated form. It will goes to the liver and convert itself into the activated form, which is peridinosole. So we use this most peridinosole, which is the inactivated form. Actually it can also be used in the pregnancy because it doesn't enter into the body of a fetus. So it's quite helpful. It will perform its action in the mother but doesn't enter into the liver of fetus. So next thing is the pharmacokinetics of these drugs. So they can be given orally in the form of tablets. They can be given parentally in the case of emergency, like we can give intravenous or intramuscular dose. It can apply on the skin in the form of various creams. The steroidal are present, but they have a lot of side effects of them. And in the form of inhalation for the asthmatic patient, it also given. It has a lot of side effects or adverse effect, like prolonged use of peridinosole or peridinosole cause osteoporosis. So it will causing the breakdown of your bones, causing the redistribution of the body fats, especially in the Cushing syndrome. Redistribution of body fat happens that a lot of fat gather toward the lower jaw of your face and toward your shoulder muscles. So it will cause redistribution of body fat and making it worse. So last adverse effect is the hyperglycemia. Hyper mean increase, or glycemia mean glucose. So it is increasing the glucose as it is causing the glucogenesis. So it is increasing the synthesis of glucose. It can cause diabetes mellitus to that patient on the prolonged use. So inhibitors of adrenal hormones are also given, like ketoconazole. Ketoconazole is actually a drug which should be placed here, but due to no space I have written here. Actually it is an antifungal agent, and it is used to treat the Cushing syndrome. So it is decreasing or inhibiting the synthesis of cortisone, and its half life is much long, but mostly we will use dextromethasone for treating the Cushing syndrome. So this was all about the today's lecture. We have covered all about the glucocorticoids. Similarly, the pharmacokinetics, the adverse effect of mineralocorticoids are similar. So in the mineralocorticoids, only one drug we should add in them, so they will are ready to go. So in the next lecture, we will cover the mineralocorticoids. So this was enough about this lecture. I hope that you will like this video. If you like it, then please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and also press the bell icon to get the notification of all the video which I uploaded. Thank you so much. Meet you soon in the next lecture. Till Allah Hafiz.